viewers, and welcome to DC TV Talk. This is the show where we talk all things Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, and Black Lightning. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing the possibility of Amayas Story, aka the Vixen, leaving Legends of Tomorrow in Season 3 and not continuing on in Season 4. So let's discuss. So, Amaya has been a full-time member of the Legends of Tomorrow ever since the whole scuffle with the Justice Society of America, and after the death of her then-boyfriend Rex Tyler, she decided to join the Legends and go against her fate, and she's been on the Wave Rider from then on and following on into Season 3, but I feel that whole storyline may be coming to its conclusion by the end of this season, and then we will see Amaya, at least not in a large capacity, in Season 4. I mainly believe this because when you look at the most recent episode of Legends of Tomorrow, which was episode 16, otherwise entitled I, Ava, we see at the very end of the episode, Amaya is kind of struggling with this whole idea that she has been displaced from time for too long, and she is destroying history and destroying her family. So she takes the jump ship and she goes back to 1992, back to Zambezi, which is where she actually dies in the original timeline. So this is a very important turning point because if you can see throughout the whole episode of episode 16, and also as a running theme of her character, she has always been worried about her history and her legacy, as she is basically displaced from time after leaving 1942 back when she was part of the Justice Society to join the Legends. And ever since then, she's always been worried about, keeping track to her destiny, making sure not to change anything too much, and then that it's just problem after problem after problem, and it's all about making sure that her granddaughter Mari receives the Spirit Totem, who of course we met in Arrow season 4. So it's all about keeping that legacy there so that Mari ends up being the Vixen. And it's always been this huge debate whether she should actually stick to that destiny or actually let herself control her own destiny. And that's one thing that Nate Hayward has always tried to teach her to do. And Nate Hayward is another problem in his own right. But, it's all this thing where she wants to make sure her legacy is kept clean and not destroyed by history. And now she's going back to change it and fix it via the jump ship. Also, when you look at this whole Totem storyline, it's very much linked to Amaya and also linked to her homeworld, which is why I feel like her whole storyline could be coming to a close here, as we've always had her Spirit Totem, but then we've also got all the other totems, the death, the fire, the air, the water, the earth. They're all there, and they're all on display, and we're going to use them all to fight Malice. And I feel like that is going to be why Amaya's story is going to come full circle here, because she's going to need to close all this off, and her totem is going to be one of the things that helps with that. And after all this goes down, I can't help but feel Amaya feeling like she doesn't have a place on the team anymore, and she's going to want to go back to fix everything that's gone wrong, and also just to keep herself out of this whole time traveling thing, because she knows it's not going to end well, and she knows that she can't keep at it for too long for a couple other reasons, which I'll get into in a second. But she knows in her heart that if she stays where she is on the Wave Rider, this is going to affect her wider history and also her legacy, and that is her biggest fear, and that's why she's going to end up leaving the show come the end of the season. One of the big things surrounding Amaya and her character on Legends is of course her relationship with Nate Hayward, aka Citizen Steel, and this is a big problem. Her relationship with Nate has always kind of been shaky at best. Although they do have feelings for each other, they very much, well, not necessarily Nate, but Amaya knows that, this isn't really going to last. This isn't going to be a long-term thing. Although she wants it to, she knows that she can't be with Nate forever, because she's going to have to meet someone else who will eventually be the grandfather of both Mari and Kuasa. And I feel like this is why Nate has always been a bit of a plot device in Legends, kind of secretly. Like, it's not like a big thing, but he's always secretly kind of been like this plot device. And this could also lead to Nate Hayward leaving the team come the end of this season. If Amaya leaves, Nate may feel like he doesn't have a place on the team anymore. And if he's not there, or if she's not there, I don't feel like Nate would want to stick around. And I feel like Nate could also leave the show, leaving up 2 free spots for the Legends. So with these 2 free spots on the Legends to be filled up, we have a potential new members coming in. And obviously we know Constantine's going to be joining the show in Season 4, so that's one. Who could the other be? Well, I mean, we do have Ava Sharp. I feel Ava could definitely join the team full-time, especially because in episode 16 she wore that suit and she was like, yeah, I'm keeping the suit. So I feel like that was maybe a setup of her kind of becoming a vigilante type character. And, we could even have another free spot depending on where Wally goes. If Wally stays on Legends or if he goes back to Flash, we'll see where that goes. But and also if Nate obviously still sticks around, he still could stick around in the end. But I feel like him leaving or potentially Wally leaving it's definitely, and then definitely Amaya is opening the spots for other characters like Constantine and Ava to step up and become full-time members and replace the older ones who are coming and going. And I feel like it's all a bit too lining up a bit too nicely here. Also, Amaya is just an extremely regretful character, especially when you look at how she feels when she actually saw that her being displaced from time caused Mari to actually lose the spirit totem and just be a vigilante with no powers, and she ended up getting badly injured. And also, she feels responsible now for her other granddaughter, Kuasa's death, who of course died in episode 16. She feels responsible for that because, again, she feels like her being displaced from time and her leaving the timeline of where she's from and where she should be is affecting everything else, and it's like a spiral effect, which is a very familiar concept to us who watch Legends. That, you know, if you just change one thing, the whole thing falls. It's very much like a Jenga game. You know, you take one piece out, the whole thing falls. And it's a very similar sort of concept, and Amaya feels like she's at the core of this for her particular family, and that's why in the end of episode 16 she goes back and she takes the jump ship back to 1992, so she's there to, you know, to save everyone and to save her family. So I feel like that is a very important thing, which is going to lead to her leaving the show come the end of the season, along with potentially Nate Hayward as well. If he's so badly affected by the whole thing, Nate Hayward may feel like he wants to leave too. So what do you guys think about Amaya and potentially Nate also leaving the show in season 3 and not seeing them again in season 4? I feel like this is very sad because I think Amaya is such a great character and I'd love to see her stick around. But I just feel the storyline that's been going on in Legends this season is just leading to her leaving. It's all building up to it because of the totems, and I feel like that is going to be her way of getting out of the show. And also, like I said with Nate, I feel he just doesn't have a place on the team if he's not there. Although I would have liked to have seen Nate stick around because I really like Nate as a character. I'd like to see him stick around for the whole, you know, rest of the show and potentially even move on to another Arrowverse show when Legends ends. Like I said in the video I made a few weeks ago, you know, I feel like Nate Hayward could actually fit quite well on Flash if he was there. But you know, I feel like both of these characters are going to leave. But tell me your thoughts about that in the comment section down below. So thank you guys for watching this episode of DC TV Talk. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. It'll help me out a lot. And share this video with anyone and everyone you know who loves DC TV and get them to join the community. And as always, guys, please subscribe for all of your latest content on Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, and Black Lightning. And with all that said, guys, I hope to see you again in my next video.